Alrighty, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today we are going to be talking about a new controversy that just dropped in the fitness space. Bam! It dropped like a load of bricks. Everyone's so upset about this. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's really not that crazy, but I think that this is interesting, and I feel like there's a lot that we can kind of go into, and I genuinely do feel like sharing my opinion on this, so I am actually quite excited to talk about this. Before we get into the video though, if you do enjoy these videos, a thumbs up really does help the video out and the channel just in general. I really appreciate. I've been asking more for that, and you guys have been delivering, so that's been awesome. If you guys can continue to do that, I would really appreciate it. Now, what am I talking about? What is this big controversy that has so many people up in arms? Some people's panties are in a bunch. What's going on? Well, it is this cover of a Self magazine, and as you can see, the title of it is "The Future of Fitness." And then it goes on to say, announcing our 2022 Fitness Advisory Board, the relentless reality of anti-fatness in fitness, 4 ways to respond to unnecessary encouragement at the gym. So obviously, there are a ton of people that are in the fitness space that seem to be upset about this. And I think a lot of times when we talk about stuff like this, it seems like people will see the cover of the magazine, they'll see maybe the title that they're using, and then they freak out without actually going in and reading what the magazine is about, what they're trying to do. So that's what I want to do here. I want to go in a little bit deeper and find out, what is this actually about? Is this good? Is this bad? Is it that big of a deal? And, kind of just find out what this is all about. If we go to Self's website and we go to the Future of Fitness issue, this is what you'll end up seeing. And as you can see, there's a ton of different articles. I've actually done a lot of reading. I've spent more time reading with all of this than I have in a long time. I am not very good at reading, so it took me a long time. But there's tons and tons of articles. It says here, the relentless reality of anti-fatness in fitness. 12 pieces of running gear that can make running in a larger body more comfortable. And then these 10 people are challenging how the fitness industry treats fatness. Now, so that's what this article talks a lot about, is the new fitness advisory board, and it goes in to talk about these 10 people. That's a whole nother article. It's very, very long. But basically it's like 10 people that are in the fitness space that maybe most people wouldn't consider quote unquote like regular bodies in that space. So it talks a lot about them trying to make it more accessible and more comfortable for someone that maybe wants to get into fitness that maybe doesn't have a quote unquote regular fit body. That's what that whole thing is about, but that's a really big part about this article. That's a whole nother thing though. And then here's how to find a gym that's size friendly. But what we're going to be reading right now, the first part, is what the future of fitness really looks like. So if we click on this picture right here, it goes to this article, and it says the title of it is What the Future of Fitness Really Looks Like. And it says, it's time to break free from fitness's anti-fatness. Comes from Leda Shai, I believe is her name. And it has this photo of Jessamine, I believe her name is, and she's one of the main people that is part of that fitness advisory board that we were talking about earlier. And then it goes on to say this. One of my favorite things about working out is the feeling of freedom it can give you. If you're a runner or a bicyclist, this can manifest in rather literal ways. The open road before you, the tiny spot behind you marking how far you've traveled. But it's not just about the physicality of being free. A good run, a solid lifting session, or a sweaty HIIT workout can change your perspective, opening up your mind to the possibilities not only of what your body is capable of, but the world around you as well. All that being said, for many, the world of fitness can be far more limiting than freeing. In gyms, on social media, and in other fitness dedicated spaces, the focus on what our bodies look like can make it hard for those with bodies that don't conform to narrowly defined norms to feel like they belong. For far too long, people with larger bodies have been met with limitations, judgment, and intimidation in spaces designed to help us all reach our potentials. So what I'm reading right there, I think a lot of us can relate to. I know when I first started going to the gym, it was definitely nerve-wracking. Does that mean that you shouldn't go? No, but I think getting people that maybe want to go to the gym more comfortable with either going to the gym, or if they just can't do that, to give some sort of fitness a try, in my opinion, is a good thing. But we're going to keep reading. So that's why I'm so excited to introduce our first editorial package of 2022, the Future of Fitness issue. In this digital issues articles and essays, when we say future, we're not talking about the latest fitness trackers or streaming workout equipment. We're talking about the people who are changing the landscape of an industry that has for too long excluded many. Over the past few years, thanks to the body positivity movement, as well as other thoughtful explorations that have challenged complacent ideas about weight and size, we've seen an important shift in how we discuss larger bodies. But fitness spaces can be a final frontier in a particular strain of body discrimination, where anti-fatness bias and weight-related stigma are entrenched in our collective understanding of what it means to be fit. It's time to break free from this limited view. The future of fitness is about making space for everyone to feel welcome. So in this package, we're celebrating the people who are helping us get there. And then finally, it says, for the digital issue, we partnered with activist, yogi, and all-around fearless fitness personality, Jessamine Stanley, who is our January cover star. So that's the woman that we saw in the photo. She has been a champion of yoga for years, and I've been a fan of her work for a long time. Stanley and photographer Beth Garabrandt do an incredible job of illustrating the issue's feature article. Journalist and author Kelsey Miller's The Relentless Reality of Anti-Fatness and Fitness. It's an excellently researched backstory on just how deeply our fitness ideals are rooted in anti-fatness. You can also catch Stanley in one of our inaugural 2022 Self-Future of Fitness Advisory Board members. For this year's class, we chose 10 trainers and experts, this is what I was talking about earlier, who are working hard to end the anti-fat stigma in the fitness world in order to make gyms, clubs, and the overall world much more welcoming to all. And Stanley, one of our regular self-columnists, has also written some great advice on the practical ways trainers, gym owners, and other fitness professionals can practice meaningful fat allyship in her piece, 6 Ways Fitness Instructors Can End Their Anti-Fat Bias. So I wanted to read that because I feel like that was the best way that I could kind of give an overview of what this entire thing is about. Reading that, I mean, there's nothing there that I vehemently disagree with. Now, I do want to say it gets a little bit further, and there are definitely things that I disagree with in this article and in this whole package that they're calling it. I'm definitely not on board 100%, but at a surface level, what they are doing, I don't have a problem with. Getting people to be comfortable in the gym, to me, is a good thing, right? So another article they shared was this one right here, where I really like the story that they tell because I think it's something that a lot of us can relate to. So this one is The Relentless Reality of Anti-Fatness in Fitness by Kelsey Miller. And it goes on to kind of tell a story of a woman that went to the gym that maybe wasn't treated the best. So this is how it goes. In 2016, Sarah Jaffe joined a gym in the San Francisco Bay Area. Jaffe, I hope I'm saying that right, then 32, was a longtime endurance athlete who just returned from a 7-day cycling event, biking 550 miles, from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Needless to say, her fitness regimen was well established, but at that point, a little boring. So when the gym offered her a free session with one of their trainers, as many do with new members, she accepted. Honestly, for me, I'm usually maybe not the best thing, because most of the time when you work with personal trainers, their job is to get you to buy more personal training. Sadly, their job is not to teach you everything in one session, so you don't need them. But that's besides the point. It would be a great chance to amplify her routine with a pro. She filled out an intake form detailing her fitness history and goals. I think that's important. So she filled out a whole form saying everything that we just heard, right? And then discussed it at length with the trainer. So she also had a conversation. This all comes up later. She was focused on strength training and mobility, she explained, and she was eager to incorporate some new workout into her endurance training. Great, the trainer replied. So do you know what a calorie is? So it's just funny because she from what this article is saying, I mean, I guess I can't say that it's definitely true, but what from this article is saying, She just had a conversation with the trainer saying, I just finished biking 550 miles, all of these things. Now, if you know anything about endurance training, a lot of it is based around calories, how many calories you're intaking, how much sodium you're intaking. All of these things are very important when you are biking for that amount of time. So to assume that someone wouldn't know what that is, but they're biking and they're doing endurance events is a little hilarious to me. But I digress. Well, yes, Jaffe said, confused. She had to be very specific about caloric and nutritional intake when cycling 80 miles per day during that endurance ride, and she'd just done. Okay, the trainer said. Though something still seemed off, the trainer took Jaffe to the weights finally and handed her a 2-pound dumbbell. Jaffe laughed as she recounted the story to me. It is almost comical imagining the seasoned athlete staring down at the 2-pound dumbbell while her trainer tries to teach her what a bicep curl is. Also, it's just funny to me because I go to a gym that has regular personal trainers, right? And no shade to them, but it's very clear most of these personal trainers, they have a routine that they do with every single person. It's the same routine with every single person. And that's definitely not the best way to go about it, but it's just funny because I definitely have seen this myself when I'm on the stair climber, just chugging away. I'm looking around. I look at these personal trainers that I see every day with different clients doing the same exact thing. And in my head, I'm like, man, I feel like that client probably would rather do something else, but that's just me just being judgmental, I guess. But it says, the session continued as such. Jaffe recalls with her asking about functional exercises and the trainer instead demonstrating a squat. I mean, technically a squat is a functional exercise, but I think I understand what they're trying to say. I kept having to reiterate, I know what these things are. I want you to give me something new so I don't get bored. Now, I think what's interesting there is that a lot of people, and again, take this with a grain of salt, I'm not even a personal trainer, but a lot of people think that just because someone is a personal trainer, they know everything. I would not be surprised, especially if, this woman is an endurance athlete doing a 550-mile bike ride. You might have known more than the personal trainer, so they literally might not have even known what to do to get you to where you wanted to go because they just didn't know themselves, right? Which that's a whole another thing about personal training and how, easy it really can be to get a certification and start training in a gym right away. But again, that's besides the point. And then she says, though she'd been very clear on her goals, the trainer seemed to have another one in mind. Do you know what that you need to eat fewer calories than you burn, she said, in order to lose weight? What makes you think I want to lose weight? Jaffe asked. I didn't put that on my intake form. The trainer said she'd assumed as much because of Jaffe's curvier physique. Jesus. One last time, Jaffe, who was then a size 16. So I think it's important. This is obviously not someone that's really, really overweight. Okay. So explained that she was there to support her endurance training. It was literally there in writing. The trainer seemed flummoxed. That's a good word. Reminds me of Dr. Seuss. So you did those things you wrote on your form. Though bizarre, Jaffe's experience is hardly novel. Of the dozens of people I spoke with for this story, few could identify one specific incident of anti-fat bias in the gym that stood out more than others, because incidents like this are the rule, not the exception. As Jaffe herself points out, she's on the smaller end of the plus size spectrum. I definitely have some privilege there in even feeling comfortable advocating for myself. She says, if I, as a size 16, am getting that treatment, I don't even want to think about how she's treating the rest of her clients. And that's where we're going to end this article. So the first thing that comes to my mind when I read stuff like that is it feels like a lot of, and it's not even it feels like, I will say a lot of times personal trainers, they are put in the position where they are working with a lot of people that their goal is to lose weight. And this might sound crazy, but personal trainers are not the people that you should be going to if that is your main goal, right? In my opinion, if your goal is to lose weight, you should be doing your own research. I think that's really, really helpful because the information on how to lose weight is not that complicated and it's not that hard to find. And I feel like the reason so many people we're almost conditioned to go to personal trainers because we feel like I want to lose weight. I need to work out in the gym really, really hard. That's just not the case. But I think that so many personal trainers have been almost conditioned, because most of their clients, when they come to them, their main goal is to lose weight. So they just immediately, no matter what, and apparently even this person, even though they were told many times, I don't want to lose weight, I don't want to lose weight, they just kept being like, okay, so you want to lose weight, right? Because you're not already shredded, right? That's something that you see a lot with personal trainers. And I mean, for good reason, I think, because most of their clients come in and they tell them, I want to lose weight. I personally believe that a lot of the stuff that we see with, whether you want to call it fat positivity or, the future of fitness, which is what they're calling it, it seems like it's a pendulum effect that we see happening a lot in fitness and just in life in general, right? So for a long time, the pendulum was on the other side, where it was like, you have to be super fit, you have to be shredded, like, everything is about how you look and how, like, all of that stuff. And if you're overweight, you're going to die soon. It's the end of the world, right? And so it seems like this is an answer to that. And I feel like this is actually a perfect time to bring this up, because this happened to me about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I just wanted to share this because I personally think it's hilarious. And also, I feel like it really does a good job of explaining the other side of the argument that you hear a lot of. So this was a post that was sent to me from this guy. His name is John Joseph Cromag. If you look at his profile, he is Bhakti. I don't know what that is. 13 times Ironman, 2 times Kona finisher, plant-based, author, coach, and all of these things. So this is the type of person this is. Very into fitness, doing Ironman and all of these things, right? So super into that stuff. But he posted this post right here. And so if you don't know, this is from 2021, right? It was from February on Cosmopolitan. Now, remember, everyone has been talking about this Self magazine that came out this year. So if we read John's caption, it goes on to say, why Cosmopolitan? Why is your February issue featuring cover models who are obese with the headline that they are healthy? Again, this was from an entire year ago. Okay. What you are saying is going against the science and health professionals. The following is from the CDC website. People who have obesity compared to those with a normal or healthy weight are at increased risk for many serious diseases and health conditions, including the following: all causes of death, high blood pressure, high LDL, cholesterol, low HDL, cholesterol, or high levels of triglycerides, type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, stroke, gallbladder disease, osteoarthritis, sleep apnea, many types of concentrated I don't even know what he's saying there, low quality of life, mental issues such as clinical depression, anxiety, and other mental disorders, body pain, and difficulty with physical functioning. When over 80% of COVID deaths were attributed to being obese, how could they be pushing this message? We are truly living in an upside down reality, and fat shaming comments in 3, 2, 1. So that's the post there. And again, if you look at the photo, it says on the picture that he posted February 2021, right? Now, I know that it's very easy to just be like, oh no, this is the one that I meant to post, but I highly doubt that he 1 year later decided, you know what, I'm still mad about this, I'm going to post about this. I can almost guarantee this self stuff was going on. He saw it in wherever, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad about this. He found this photo and thought it was the same thing and posted it. But again, maybe I'm wrong. But I had to comment because it's just how I am. And I said, this cover is a year old, and so is this discourse, correct? And so he responded, he said, I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that they've done articles recently pushing the same narrative as many other magazines and TV shows have too. And so I responded, I said, all right, man, as long as you did your research and you didn't just post this picture, freak out and clutch your pearls, because that's definitely what it seems like here. Not mentioning this is a photo from an entire year ago. And I posted a heart. And he said, I've explained it perfectly. Are you effing lost? Clutch my pearls? Bro, put a lid on it and keep moving. So he didn't like my comments, apparently. So the reason that I shared that is because that is, in my opinion, what these types of things, the Cosmopolitan, the Selfs, what they are quote unquote fighting against, right? They are seeing, and this is the narratives that we've heard for forever. And am I saying that being morbidly obese at a point where it's causing you issues is good for you? No, absolutely not. I'm not. I lost 200 pounds, right? Like, I'm not sitting here being like, you should stay super overweight. But I don't think for the vast majority of people that shaming them and making them feel worse about the size that they are is the way to get them to change. Now, am I sitting here saying it doesn't work for anybody? No, I'm sure there are people that are like, oh yeah, the tough love, that really helps me. But in my opinion, and myself included, when I was really, really big, I knew that, especially at my size, I was causing myself pain. I was causing myself misery. I was definitely making my life shorter, and I wasn't happy where I was. I did not need to be bombarded over and over and over again the fact that you're unhealthy, you're gonna die, you're gonna get cancer, you're gonna get this, everything's gonna end, your life is terrible, all you need to do is lose weight. Like, trust me, I already knew that, right? And so it seems like these articles, and of course they are definite, like, come on, look at this photo. That is the best way to get people to start talking about whatever you're putting out there, right? I agree. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh my gosh, it's like the best thing in the world. There's definitely negatives to it as well, but it gets people talking. And especially when you're a magazine, that's what you want to do. You want to get people talking and get people to your website and maybe get some people to buy the actual physical thing. I don't feel like people buy that many magazines anymore, but it makes sense why they would do it. So with all of that being said, I do want to make sure that I make it very clear. I am not for either side of this. I think both of them are a little too extreme. When I was doing a lot of the research and reading a lot of the articles, it really does feel like, to a certain extent, like, yes, there are some things that I definitely agree with the article and the things that they are saying, but it definitely feels like they go over the line and go a little bit too far in making it seem like if you are into fitness or you do enjoy the gym, it almost makes it seem like that makes you a bad person or there's like something wrong with you. And then, of course, I already shared how I disagree with the other side of the argument. I think that's too far. For me, the reason that I think that this article and this whole series isn't the end of the world, because the way I see it is that if this gets someone into the gym that maybe was uncomfortable and they end up really enjoying it and really putting their time and effort into working out, or it doesn't have to be the gym, I always say that, but it can be any type of exercise. For most people, that is going to be a net positive for your health. And it's probably, especially if you are morbidly obese or very overweight, it's going to help you lose weight in general, right? But even more so, I do like that the article is talking about exercise and fitness is not all about losing weight. It's not. Like, I don't go to the gym anymore because I'm trying to lose weight. I don't care about losing weight anymore. I go because it helps me feel good, makes me feel better. And if someone that isn't super fit or is, overweight can find that enjoyment in the gym, but they don't lose weight right away, I don't care. I want them to be happy. And if it makes you happy, that's great. And so if you can find whatever type of exercise, and this article and these stories help you feel confident enough to go out and try and find that thing, why would I be upset about that? Just because it's saying you don't have to lose weight? Because in my experience and in my opinion, if you really get into it and you want to improve your times, or you want to do better, or you want to run faster, or you want to climb higher in your mountain climbing, you want to do better in your CrossFit workout, you want to go skateboarding and be able to ollie higher, a lot of times losing weight will help those goals, and just being more active and then thinking, okay, I'm being more active and I want to improve how I feel in the gym. Maybe I should start kind of changing up how I'm eating. What do you think is going to happen there? Weight loss is probably going to happen, right? And the other main issue that I have with the article is it does feel like it almost makes losing weight a negative thing. And the thing that I noticed is a lot of pretty much everyone that they shared that's part of the fitness advisory board, none of them are severely overweight to where it's causing them issues and causing them pain and really limiting their quality of life and the life that they are living, right? Which is great. I'm glad that they're not there. But there are a lot of people that are in that position. And so I just think it's important to acknowledge that, like, because these people, because they are active, because they are moving, they're not at that super extreme, but there are people that are there, right? And so what I try and do is say, like, if you are at that position, you can get out of that position, but two, yeah, it's going to be hard to go to the gym. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you just got to start slow. And then more than anything, focus on that diet. And that's the way to do it. Right. And so that's my opinion. I think that it's one of those things that there's so people just like saw the headline and they freak out and they don't do any of the research. They don't do any reading. And then it's like, oh, I'm just going to be super upset. And then like that dude literally posted an article from an entire year ago, but maybe he did it on purpose. I don't know. But in my opinion, probably not. But I feel like that's the amount of research people do. They hear it, they post how upset they are online, and that's about it. So I wanted to go a little bit deeper and share my thoughts. Again, I'm not 100% on board with either side, and I don't, maybe that makes me a fence sitter. That's fine. I think that there are good arguments on each side, and there are bad arguments on each side, and that's what I think.